Jesus, my knee flipping, the boots are stuck together, and we take a break from this La Liga match for a word from our sponsors. Adidas. What the hell's even going on? Hello all and welcome to the future. We are helping to reimagine your humble boot. With our Mika Richards sticky stuff technology, a defender's boots can now stop an attacker in their tracks, just with their shoelaces. Brother, please, I need assistance. And these boots are for all ages, meaning our new Adidas Predators here are perfect for your kids. I allowed a need. That's appalling use of terminology. Yo guys, it is your boy Earnin here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what has been kicking off in the world this week? Well, look, listen, lads, content creation is all about striving for more. You've really got to push yourself. No, literally. A girl on Twitch became the first person to ever give birth on the site live. If I was born live on Twitch, yeah, swear down, I'm going back in. You must be crazy. This is absolutely mental. Twitch is absolutely not the environment for this. There is no place for a childbirth. Oh yes, brother, I'm in. Man, allow it. I'm trying to get to Div 3, bro. The birth certificate's gonna have his username on it, for fuck's sake. All I know is that baby will be firmly in the chat for his mum's next stream. Anyway, Twitch, gaming, I guess the store's taking a new shape today. Let me scroll through these games. What have we got here? Hey, yo, FC26 is looking a whole lot different right now. Let me just boot this one up and... fucking hell. And you taking the fucking piss! Nah, guys, I don't even know if I can do this one again, you know. Oh, how incandescently infuriating. Blue, a little too much bending over, and a massive role played by an 18-year-old. But that's enough about Bonnie's career.
What advice would you give me?
Go to church.
Alleged Premier League football club Liverpool dealt me yet another blow, as we were defeated by a 97th minute Estevao winner at Stamford Bridge. Now, things were already looking bad going into proceedings. We had a shaky start to the season, which then led to a Palace last-minute dagger and being put in a mixed shish kebab by Galatasaray. We needed a reaction. What we got was an allergic reaction, as Virgil van Dijk realised he couldn't go within a 6-yard radius of a football without an antihistamine. The first goal of the week is the opener from this game, as Moises Caicedo confirmed that his thighs are made from weapons-grade Kevlar, only to see Virgil van Dijk twerking in the background. Now, I get it, look, Alexis McAllister was at fault here for stepping out, but Cardi V over here was completely unnecessary in backing away quite that much. Someone's got to get tight to him and stop the strike from coming in, especially when Caicedo showed that he can score great goals already. He had man doing that Taylor Swift arch back. Now, with Virgil van Dijk clearly relatively distracted by what sport he wanted to play and leaving Marmadashvili as a wicket-keeper for this one, now didn't seem like the greatest time to get some practice in for Carney mid-game. This isn't even AI, by the way. This is just a reverse angle of what was going on. Bro was shaking all of that Jadon Sancho. Virgil was left frustrated and confused when he realised that Aura didn't save him from Ibrahima Konate needing a teaching assistant every week. And Ibrahima himself was petrified as the ball flashed before his eyes.
That was too hard! Someone's gonna get hurt if you kick it that hard!
Arne Slot was getting his next training and exercise regime in, realising that all the muscle memory had worn off from the Jurgen Klopp era. Meanwhile, someone might want to investigate Mohamed Salah. That's not the same guy. This is the Libyan version or something. He's put his Christmas tree up already. Brother, it's October. This man's got the same completed dribbles as Joan Garcia. That's Barcelona's goalkeeper. Then again, this is how I'm hearing Joan Garcia's actually been playing all season. Yeah, don't watch the highlights. I swear I'm a very reliable source. That doesn't even make sense as a statistic. What do you mean your successful take-ons are the same as a man who has to put his goalkeeping gloves in the tumble dryer? Federico Chiesa must be left confused when Arne Slot announces that Salah's in the starting 11 again. Alexander Isak was once again struggling to get himself into the game.
Let's fucking have it.
But to be fair to him, into the second half and with a beautiful and totally on purpose touch,
Fuck off!
it saw the Swede grab an assist for Cody Gakpo. It was 1-1 against the run of play, but a chance for us to build and... yeah, nah, never mind, safe. We've conceded in the 97th minute again.
Every day I wake up.
My heart pressure and cholesterol levels can't take this all season, fam. We've literally had a goal in the 96th minute of every game. Arne Slot was back into depression territory. Meanwhile, his managerial counterpart Enzo Maresca realised he needed to do something drastic upon realising Chelsea hadn't had a red card yet today. To be honest, I don't think you should be getting a red card for running down the touchline to celebrate. It's just pure passion. All in all, though, it leaves Liverpool with back-to-back defeats in the Premier League, and Palace realising they're going to have this title won by February. Overall, though, yet another shaky performance. And I think concern when it comes to balance, we're far too easy to beat the press of now that we've not got like a Luis Diaz charging at everybody constantly or a Darwin Núñez. Arne Slot really needs to take time over this international break to work out how he's going to address that midfield imbalance and, crucially, how bad we've been at the back as well. Over at the Emirates, and Arsenal took it upon themselves to be the next to abuse West Ham this season, defeating the Hammers 2-0. We can't call these lot something as menacing as Hammers anymore, bro. They're like the Mallets now. This was a 200th Premier League game for Starboy and master of limp Bukayo Saka. Sorry, that makes him sound like it's a mad thing in the bedroom, actually. But it was Ebere Eze's ankle going limp early on as he somehow missed this basically open goal. Oliver Declan, however, would not make the same mistake against this former side, haunting the Mallets with the opening goal. Supporters were crying into their jelly deals, seeing who the dagger came from, and they were left with PTSD as they went to go and cook a curry after Declan Rice's goal here. Rice watching on as his old side got absolutely pumped by the rest of his teammates.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
It's not all bad though for West Ham fans. No, I'm joking. It is actually all bad. You're finished, lads. It's alright. Their supporters were not going into work the next day.
Yeah, boss, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not available for work because, I'll be honest, I'm gonna kill myself.
And things were looking pretty familiar down on the touchline. This result, though, completed by a Bukayo Saka penalty for his 100th goal contribution at the club, saw the Gunners go top of the table. Wait, go top of the table? No. This actually can't happen. We can't allow this to... Rory Delap, by the way, if he was playing now, he'd be worth 80 million quid. We've got Ricardo Calafiori dashing in long throws all over the place and actually getting a towel this time, according to his Insta story. He'll be seen celebrating in front of Newcastle's ball boy back at the reverse fixture. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta's one Samuel Allardyce YouTube tutorial away from playing 4-4-2 at this rate. One piece of bad news, though, for Arsenal is yet another injury to an already stop-start season for Martin Ødegaard. This brother's body is made out of digestive biscuits and the caramel ones as well. Just no structural integrity. Over in Manchester, though, and the stars were aligning. Dust was shifting and miracles were occurring. United actually won.
You know, let's not take the piss here.
Sunderland have actually been offering some serious inspiration for the Red Devils for when Manchester United are a newly promoted side in a couple of seasons. Ruben Amorim and United, though, rewarding them for that with a 2-0 win at Old Trafford. Benjamin Sesko scored again as Sunderland took one for the team in ensuring Ruben Amorim keeps his job for a little bit longer. In fact, this win was so incredible in the eyes of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's been given 3 years to turn things around. If this needs 3 years to turn around, bro, his brother's got the turning circle of a P&O cruise ship. The dementia is clearly kicking in here for Sir Jim, as Ruben's deal isn't even that long. The maths that Manchester United are doing isn't really mathsing at this stage. Bruno Fernandes, meanwhile, is absolutely disgusted at the fact that he's got 2 more years of this bullshit.
And then he links up to a 4-pronged triangle, so it's kind of a false 9.
Belgian goalkeeper Shona Lamens, I honestly don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm not gonna lie, he only just got here, bro. Got a clean sheet on his debut and had United fans amazed at the fact they'd actually got a goalkeeper with biological hands. Meanwhile, one Sunderland fan not quite as amused, finding a rat in a cup in the stands. Stuart Little away. But listen, it's not that deep, guys. Literally, like Bruno Fernandes' bottle just ran out of water. He had to go get some more hydration. With Newcastle, though, Nottingham Forest continued their disastrous start to the season. Defeated here by the Magpies, creating a record of 7 games for Ange Postecoglou and 0 wins. This brother ain't looked up in an interview in the last 18 months.
Just who we are, mate.
Nottingham Forest basically had to put a petition together to ensure that they actually played in the Europa League this campaign. At this rate, they're going to be putting a petition together to ensure they can play in the Premier League this campaign. Because I'm not going to lie, I was thinking Mr. Marinakis and his co-owner would be running onto the pitch to sack Postecoglou 6 minutes before full time. This guy's going to get sacked twice before Ruben Amorim has even been sacked once. This could be generational. There's not even any dust on Tottenham's Europa League trophy yet. For Newcastle, though, and Nick Voltemada scored one of the best penalties I think I've ever seen in this game. In the same week where Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, what did he call me? Said that he was happy Stuttgart's owners had found an idiot who was willing to pay all that money for the German striker. To be honest, the price is pretty high, but he started the season well. It just sounds like a salty owner that didn't get to sign him, in my opinion. Now, Everton, of all teams, managed to end Crystal Palace's invincible season. A late goal from Jack Grealish securing 3 points. Softies fans are realising slowly they're falling in love with another lone player here. They're going to have to fully indoctrinate him to Merseyside life, because they can't let him go at this point now. To be fair, he's already got the alcohol consumption locked down. Jack will be making his thoughts on Liverpool's squad very clear after 12 months of David Moyes' propaganda.
Mice and rats, like they're all the same thing really, aren't they? What?
Rodents, yeah.
Huh?
Rodents.
What's that?
Meanwhile, there's a different agenda going on Liverpool YouTube right now.
Oh, he's a little fraud. You're a little fucking... little numpty.
Of course we'll have a look.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid we're gonna need some VAR on this one.
Oh, he's a little fraud. You're a little fucking...
Lincoln poop, dude.
Yeah, no, I can't lie, racismo given. The guy from the Anfield agenda almost got himself into some serious trouble for not even saying anything this week. Which, to be honest with you, like, what he said after, it could very easily have been what he wanted to say, right? I'm not even gonna just scream, yo, he was definitely about to be racist. Yeah, I don't even know if he was. Like, when I first saw the clip, I was like, nah, man. However, his apology for saying a word that he didn't actually say might have made the situation 47 times worse.
I remember saying numpty, but I don't remember every thought process in the middle of an angry rant at a referee. But I know I wasn't going to say that word, because one, it doesn't make any sense in the context of who I'm talking to, and two, I don't use that word. Now, I'm not saying I've never said the N-word. I've all sang along in a car like everybody else.
Donut, you're so... Bro, literally all you had to say was you're sorry. Or you didn't even have to say anything at all. I didn't even think that you were gonna say that.
I love John Barnes.
I'm sure people that can sympathise with him, though, are the brigade of people that have been painting England flags across roundabouts all over the country. Now, it's fair to say there's been a decent amount of division in England recently. And in a video on social media, Gary Neville linked some of that division to what these guys have been doing, you know, hanging up England flags all over the country. Now, this has not gone down well, okay? There's been banners outside of hotels that he's staying at. And after Gary Neville said that these people aren't even using it for patriotism reasons and are instead using it as a way to point score or cause division across the country with an angry response, they responded angrily by trying to point score instead of using it for patriotism reasons. You genuinely couldn't write this stuff, could you? You're so stupid! On Twitter, meanwhile, one user had ordered himself an Uber and reckoned that he'd found Mikhailo Mudrik's next pastime. Just don't give him a breathalyzer test, that's all I'm saying. Look, the guy's a little bit bored. He's not got football to play. To be honest with you, only 4.91 stars. Yeah, you know what? It's him, mate. That's him, fam. I'm gonna be sat in the backseat of the car in a rush to catch my train, and my driver's doing TikToks off the bonnet of his car. Erling Haaland, meanwhile, on Instagram was struggling to get everybody into a picture. A squad picture, a team picture of all the coaches, saying that he had to spread this one wide to fit everybody in. Yo, hey, listen, we got to pause on that one. If this was Chelsea's squad, he'd have needed an iPad, honestly, because it's a bit crazy over there. And over on Snapchat, instead of being sat next to Gianluigi Donnarumma, he was sat next to a different teammate in Ryan Fat Jerky. Yeah, we've got a new slander name, it's just dropped. At Bournemouth, and Antoine Semenyo's incredible display inspired a comeback against Fulham, and I'm starting to realise that genuinely that team might actually be the best player in the world. I don't even mean to be like knee-jerk. Meanwhile, Aston Villa goalkeeper Emi Martinez was seeing the funny side of the Unai Emery Marco Bizot situation.
Marco Bizot.
Now, over in Spain, and Barcelona were absolutely battered by Sevilla in a 4-1 defeat for their second loss in a row under Hansi Flick. Thanks to Kylian Mbappe for confirming the scoreline. Look, Andres Christensen arrived for this one, clearly not that locked in, instead watching a Chelsea versus Liverpool live stream. Meanwhile, Wojciech Szczesny was smiling as the ball hit the back of his net. Look, listen, he's one step closer to being back at retirement, man. He just wants the weekends off again. If we zoom in a little bit closer, bro had a ciggy in his mouth. He's not even taking this seriously. And Sevilla themselves were really milking this one. Changing their bio after the recent trend kicked off by Crystal Palace. Yeah, look, listen, it's a shithousery award for the Spanish side. And he really forced it home against the Catalan side with an I, for one, wouldn't want to be a Barca fan tweet. Adnan Januzaj, meanwhile, returned from the depths of forgottenness to have his ankle on life support after this match. Meanwhile, Barca's Instagram was hacked by a crypto scammer to launch a new Bitcoin. Bruv, they even got the capital to launch a normal financial coin. Now, they were without Starman and Ballon d'Or runner-up Lamine Yamal for this game, as he returned back to the physio room for 2 to 3 weeks out with pubic discomfort again.
Whoever's involved in this, stop it.
Bro's got a recurrence of an STI, you know. Do you understand how crazy this is? We need to get the graphic out again, bro. His heat map for this season is mad, and it's literal heat as well from the feeling that is being caught. Fabrizio Romano being the first to cover this story, by the way, it really doesn't sit right with me.
Check his hard drive.
The poor kid's immune system is in absolute disarray trying to deal with all of this foolishness. All I'm saying is I've seen this guy hanging around with Kyle Walker just a little bit too much recently, and I think that's starting to have an effect on the kid.
This is my apprentice, Jack. He's only 16 years old, bless him. What would you do if you was on 2.5 a day?
I'd get 100 fucking brasses, 100 packets, and 100 beers.
The only thing I would say is, Barca, you saw how this went before. Why did you tweet it out again? Just say that he's out injured. You don't have to go into the detail. On Twitter, one account has proclaimed it will not be indulging in the art of masturbation until Barcelona win a Champions League. Fam, if this guy's like below the age of of 20. He's never experienced a climax before. He's got a nut allergy. Meanwhile, one man that doesn't is Vinny Jr. He was apparently asking one model over on Instagram for some explicit images. Now, upon being told that this girl was not like this, she didn't want to do that, he was actually pretty respectful in his response, in fairness, which a lot of people have been like saying, this is absolutely crazy. But he was just like, yeah, man, I didn't want it to come across that way. Really sorry. Did properly apologize. My question is, why is the reporter breaking this down like it's Monday Night Football?
I would just stop it there. We go in a little bit closer. You've got Woody.
This reporter will have been trying to explain things to Vinny Jr. after hacking into his private WhatsApp DMs.
I never thought you'd be interviewed by me.
Now, Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso proved that he's absolutely still got it with this touch in training. Elsewhere for Real Madrid, though, and Arda Güler had this snap of Kylian Mbappe sleeping on a flight home. I already know what he was dreaming of. To be fair, that Kazakhstan flight had bro in the air for about 4 business days straight, so we've got to allow him being tired. And one other game involving a Spanish side that could be happening very far away from home is Barcelona's clash versus Villarreal next season, which is going to be taking place in the United States after UEFA reluctantly allowed for the relocation of the match. Barca released an official statement. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I can't be asked to really go through that, to be honest with you. All I know is that you're scoundrels and you're money launderers. I get the concept of wanting to grow a league in other nations, in other areas of the globe. Ultimately, football, the globalization of football is absolutely monstrous at this stage. If you want to be one of the biggest clubs in the world, you have to appeal to absolutely every corner of it, like Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. All of these clubs have fans in the depths of West Africa, in the jungles of South America. But that shouldn't be at the detriment of local fans missing out on games that are happening in their communities. By the way, if this is a game happening in America, fam, Marcus Rashford's gonna need a curfew. He's gonna be out every night. Lamine Yamal will be excited after booting up Tinder and seeing an entirely new demographic. Meanwhile, Marc-Andre ter Stegen will be left confused after being intentionally left behind somewhere in the middle of Texas. And another game that's reluctantly got the green light from UEFA involves Serie A side Milan facing off against Como. That's going to be taking place in Perth, Australia. Como and didgeridoos have absolutely no business being anywhere near each other, I'm sorry. This away end's going to have dust balls floating through them. The crowd is going to be on a minimum representation. Now, there were some unique training methods being taken over at Italy's under-21s. Their coach insisting they trained with one eye patch on, I think to improve focus and concentration, but I think personally all it's going to do is lead to more questions. Yeah, look, listen, Pietro, I just don't think you performed very well in training. You're coming off. I think what you actually mean, boss, is I'm getting hooked. Just get off the pitch, man. You're going home. I don't even like you. Over in Germany, and just like Johnny Sins, Bayern Munich have been slapping Bundes differently. They're on a 100% record at the moment. Vincent Kompany now having won his first 10 games of the season in all comps. Harry Kane is proving to be the most successful Englishman in Germany since 1945. Let's go! Meanwhile, Luis Diaz is putting in some good performances as well at his new home. He grabbed 2 goals, an assist, a yellow card, and a substitution. This brother has done everything. Meanwhile, at Werder Bremen, Victor Boniface has got even more wisdom to share with the group. By clicking this checkbox, you confirm that you have read and you consent to our terms and conditions and privacy policy. Brother, what does that even have to do with scoring a goal in the Bundesliga? This man's dinner time conversations with his wife must be something else completely. So, darling, you know, you've signed for a new club now. How was work? Well, when the circumference of work shines a light on the mango tree, does it truly leave you with a hand in the cookie jar? Victor, I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting a divorce. He has to be high, like regularly. This man is gonna provide some premium A-star yapping if he's the best man at his mate's wedding.
Hey, Jim, they're doing the work.
And look, listen, you know, he's had a lot of things to say. This man's got a lot of wild statements and sentences and sayings. I'm seeing people comparing him to the great Eric Cantona, but honestly,
just enjoy him, man.
Over in France, meanwhile, an Ethan Mbappe scored in the last minute of the game to rescue a point for Lille against his brother's former side, PSG. And what made this even better for PSG haters was that Kylian Mbappe was there live and direct in the stands. I know it's his brother, yeah, but he's celebrating this one a little bit too hard. Kylian, he's always here for the downfall of PSG. This is what this brother wants after leaving Paris for good. Lenny Yoro was a guest appearance at this one, the former Lille man actually kicking off the game. They don't realise he's actually re-signed. Bro's had enough of Manchester United. More shout out to Auger, whose players wore shirts with disappearing letters, basically, that changed shape quite a lot as a way to raise awareness for eye health. Make sure, go get your eyes tested if you're struggling to see crazy things, ladies and gentlemen. Now, though, time for your goals of the week. We got some stunners once again. First of all, we head to Russia, where Mohammed Sultanov, we need to put him in the salsa section, because the amount of dip he's got on this strike for Kamaz FC is absolutely crazy. Son of the great Romanian legend Georgi Hagi, Yanis is next up. He signed for a side in Turkey this season, and he's already making an instant impact with a perfect left-footed free kick into the top corner. We've got another free kick, this time coming from Mahmoud Al-Shalwi, where he's absolutely banged this one in from distance on international duty. But finally, we have got a Barclays hit, if ever I have seen one, and it's coming from South Africa, where Mbekazeli Mbakazi hasn't been closed down, and he has more than taken advantage of that fact. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, over in Malaysia, and the national team and football association in the country are in hot water. They have been found to have falsified documents of 7 players that they had attempted to naturalize, basically, into their national team despite not being immediately Malaysian. They falsified birth certificates of their grandparents. The falsified documents had these 7 players with, grandparents that were born somewhere in Malaysia, but in reality, they weren't whatsoever. These players have probably never traveled to Malaysia, have never played in Malaysia, and more importantly, don't even have family from Malaysia either. This is an absolute scam. It's absolutely egregious and makes a mockery of football in the country altogether. They felt they needed to just basically nab 7 players randomly from across the world and just slap them into a national team. You can't just sign people for your country on like an undisclosed fee. That's not how it works. Some poor Malaysian grandpa was finding out that he's now German or something in the afterlife.
Well, I like lads. Guten Tag.
Up in Scotland, and the Russell Martin situation at Rangers got even worse. He needed an escort out of the stadium because of the fear that Rangers fans might attack him or were crowded around the team bus, not allowing him on. It was getting absolutely crazy. Thankfully for them, though, he has now been sacked, and there'll be parties across Glasgow tonight. There was ingenuity going on, though, elsewhere in Scotland, as in an Edinburgh derby between Hearts and Hibs, they both decided to do a unique, kick-off. Hibs doing it first, Hearts seeing it, and then replicating it in the second half. It's been a great week for Dutch legend Patrick Kluivert, who saw 3 of his sons score goals in 3 consecutive games. Ruben Kluivert for Lyon, Justin Kluivert for Bournemouth, and then Shane Kluivert for Barcelona's youth team. His sperm scoring a hat-trick is absolutely crazy work. Over in Cape Verde, and they played out one of the best games of this season so far against Libya in World Cup qualifiers. It saw one of the most egregious goalkeeping errors that I've seen in ages from Libya's shot stopper as the ball dribbled through his legs. This might actually be match fixing. And it leaves Cape Verde now 1 win away from their first ever World Cup. Egypt's under-20s were seen arguing over who would take a free kick in injury time. Players snatching the ball off each other, serious tension between them all, only for the guy who won the argument to firmly prove them all wrong. Meanwhile, elsewhere in this tournament, and Cuba earned their first ever under-20 World Cup point with a draw against Italy. Shout out the underdogs there. Closer to home, and Watford, well, it won't surprise you to know they're under new management, and their tweet about the situation quite literally combined the sacking of their original manager, Petzolano, after just 10 games in charge, and their new boss, someone who's already managed the club, in the same tweet. Yeah, Watford are never going to change, are they? Hashtag United joked on Twitter that they've signed 2 new AI players.
Okay, it's killing the game, man.
Genuinely, I don't care if it's a joke. Delete the club, man. Man's dog did not die for this. Marcelo Nunes ruffled some feathers on the East Coast when he swapped Norwich for Ipswich this summer. And he's gone full shithousery about it, okay? He just hates Norwich, even though he's played for them for like 3 years or something. He posed with a banner, which was a Norwich fan calling for him to have a statue a few years ago. The statue he's going to get now is going to look very, very different indeed. He could be seen holding a corner flag and celebrating with the Tractor Boys supporters. And look, who can blame him? Who genuinely actually likes Norwich as a whole, like if we're being honest? Oldham United supporters could be seen sarcastically clapping for their striker, who's not exactly been too prolific this season when he actually put the ball in the back of the net for once in warm-up. Meanwhile, West Bromwich Albion's youth team for some reason were playing against Juventus and were 3-0 up. That was until one of their defenders scored one of the worst own goals I've seen in a while.
Attenzione qui al retropassaggio.
Now though, I'm turning my attention to you lot, because there is an epidemic in the comment section. and I love it. It started with the Shamrock Rovers review, a feature that I've not had in a while because I'm not gonna lie to you, I lost the file for the intro, but I have it back now. Either way, you guys have been updating me on all of your obscure teams, and I'm really enjoying it. The Shamrock Rovers one will always be the original, but we've got people doing K-League roundups, Icelandic roundups, Hibernian roundups. I'll start reading out the best ones, drop them down below. Elsewhere though, now we've got one of the most outrageous skill moves I've seen in a while, one that doesn't even revolve around touching the ball, just backflipping and nutmegging the defender anyway. In the UAE, and John Joe Shelby made his debut for his new side, only to miss a penalty right at the end of a game. In Algeria, and someone's got to postpone this match, fam, because what in the waterlogging is going on? The pictures don't get too much better in Thailand for Andros Townsend. The new recruit headed over there and scored a banger. It was one of the goals of the week last episode. It's a surprise he can even get the ball off the ground though with the quality of some of these pictures. Something absolutely incredible is going on in Sweden at the moment. Mjällby, massive underdogs who have never won the Swedish Premier League before, are top of the table and by an absolute mile. Their fans are absolutely loving it, bringing the trumpets out in the stands. Meanwhile, they might want to use the money they earn from winning the league to actually build some kind of set like inside the ground for like presenters and the TV companies to use. Meanwhile, shout out to 40-year-old Gulnara Gabelia in the Kazakhstani Women's League who scored an absolutely incredible 69 goals in the league season. Now though, time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football, and honestly, you know, usually I give like a big build up to a clip, alright? You know, really get you guys in the mood, but honestly, there's not really much I can say in build up to this, apart from, honestly, sack the defender, because this is one of the most ridiculous own goals I've seen this week, and I've seen some pretty bad ones in this episode already. Relegate him to Monday League, mate. We gotta get him out of there. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, we head to Nigeria, where Rabiu Ali is proving that age is just a number. We're firmly into the start of the Nigerian National League season. We're 6 game weeks in, and Rabiu Ali's side were in need of a winning goal. And that is exactly what he would provide to them at the ripe old age of 45. He's got to be the oldest goal scorer in an actual proper league this entire month so far. 45 is absolutely crazy. Go on, Rabiu. But finally, from hero to zero, and we travel to Bolivia. They've been embroiled in a massive brawl, to be honest with you, for South American 2026 World Cup qualifying, and they felt they needed all the edge they could get. Well, certainly one of their players did. Boris Cespedes, who's been found guilty of doping and now been banned for 2 years. Now, this has happened a few times recently, but what's absolutely mental and quite honestly ridiculous about the situation is in the game that he was found to be doping, or, you know, afterwards when he did a drugs test, he was on the bench. This man doped to not even play the game. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at the official FNG on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day. And here we see a young Nigerian boy playing FIFA. Oh, sorry, I've been informed I'll be shot in the temple if I don't call it FC26. He's here having fun, shit trim and all. He's just scored. But what's this? Upon kickoff, his opponent is coming forward and scoring immediately. We see a complete change in behavior, maybe a mating ritual. Well, we're back.
Hi again, it's me.
If there's one thing that EA Sports have managed to bring to our lives, it's microtransactions. 100%. Yeah, it's a bit of a man. After that, foolishness. No, sorry, I mean joy. I'm sorry, my EA Sports overlord. I didn't mean to offend you like that. Please, can we just get me? Let me rephrase that. Whether it be mass childhood character building or DIY skills like redesigning your bedroom table, this is a perfect game. Okay, quickly, whilst they're not looking yet, this is every stupid thing in FC26.